Welcome back to Smoky Ribs. I'm Russ Jones. I'm going to try my hand today at some Brazilian style barbecue. I'm going to be doing picanha with a side dish of farofa right after this.
If you want to cook backyard barbecue till you get your feel, you come to the right place. Russ Jones Smoky Ribs. Smoky Ribs. Smoky
Alright, so here's our picanha. This came from Matador Prime Steak Company. This is prime Angus, certified Angus beef. Looks really good. It's got a complete fat cap on the back side, and that's what picanha is supposed to have. Over here in the States, this is also referred to as a rump cap or a top sirloin cap, I've heard it called, or sirloin cap. But in Brazil, they refer to it as the picanha. It's already been trimmed, it's ready to go. And we're going to start this by doing a fast sear on the fat cap side and this side. Actually, we're going to start with this side first, then the fat cap. Then I'll take you from there and show you what we're doing next. We're not doing this like you typically would do or see done in Brazil. Normally, they would cut across the grain. As you can see, the grain is running straight down. It's unlike a tri-tip. Tri-tip does various patterns on the grain, but this, the grain is pretty much running back and forth this way. But they would take and cut this into sections. Then they would curl one section up and they would skewer that section, and then they would do this on like a rotisserie. Each individual steak on a rotisserie, after it's cooked or the outside is cooked, they would start trimming off in the same direction that they originally cut it, which is against the grain. You always want to cut against the grain, but we're doing something different today. We're cutting with the grain because I'm actually going to make steaks out of this, and we're going to be cutting it against the grain as we eat it, or actually I'm going to cut it in advance. So you'll see all that coming up. Let's go ahead and get this on the Weber. Alright, so I'm stoking this fire just a few minutes, get it good and hot before we start this sear. It's not going to take long. We're just going to sear this a good minute or two till we get a nice sear on it. We're going to go about 2 minutes on this fat side. I'll keep an eye on it, maybe not quite that long since that is fat. Now we're getting a pretty good fire here, only because all the fat's starting to drip onto the hot coals. The meat's not actually on fire, as you can see. That's good enough. All right, I'm gonna remove this, put it back on the cutting board. All right, I've got the picanha resting over here on the board. It's just hanging out. It's nowhere near complete. We're going to be doing more with that, but first we're going to make the farofa over here on the disket right behind me. I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Jason over at Red's Barbecue and Pizzeria. Jason lived in Brazil. He's in the U.S. Marine Corps, and he has quite an extensive knowledge on just how they do their barbecue and all kinds of recipes actually. So he was a big help in helping me do the research on this. Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it. I'll have his link in the description box to his channel. Please go over there and check him out. Great guy. Matter of fact, I got a video coming up real soon, probably next video. I'm not certain on that, but I'm helping Jason out with a very worthy cause, and you'll learn more about that later on. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start this farofa. All right, I'm using the disket on this. I think it'll be a really good vessel to do this with. First thing I've got going on is bacon that I've cubed up. We're gonna render that down to get it crispy. I removed the bacon, left the bacon grease. What I'm getting ready to do now is add in a couple of eggs. Now I'm going to bust the yolk on these eggs. We want this like a hard fried egg. I do believe our egg is done. Now I'm going to melt in 1 stick of unsalted butter. Alright, I'm actually deglazing those little bit of bacon bits and a little bit of egg with this butter. It's working really well. Deglazing. Into that we're going to add in 1/2 of I would say a large red onion. Wasn't really medium, it's a little bit bigger than a medium. That's 1/2 of 1 red onion. And it's a good time to go ahead and add in 1/2 of a large red bell pepper. And also, now this is like 2.5 large cloves. You could use 5 of the medium to small cloves of garlic. All right, we're going to add the bacon back into the mix. This is what goes in next. This is a cassava flour, and some people refer to it as a manioc flour. It's all new to me. I've never done anything like this. Now this is going to get in roughly 1.25 cups for the amount of butter that I use. But we're just going to kind of play it by ear. We're going to start with that. We're going to mix this in to start with. And basically what you're wanting to do is kind of toast this flour. I've been doing a lot of research on this, and what somebody described it as is like crunchy or crispy grits, and I can definitely identify with grits. So we ought to be real close to what we're needing right here. It's supposed to look coarse like this, not soupy at all. And the reason this pairs well with the picanha is it really absorbs the juices from the picanha as well as what's already in here. Now let's add in the eggs. Now we're going to add in some black olives. I'm just going in with a can of them. That's a 3.8 ounce can. And the last ingredient is going to be some fresh chopped parsley. And that is it. All right, let me remove my fly preventer here. We're still dealing with flies out here, and will be all summer long. But you can see the grain, and as I explained earlier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and cut steaks with the grain, which is unlike the way you would do it if you're using the skewers and a rotisserie. All right, so what they use on picanha in Brazil is this really coarse sea salt, but they say salt it heavily, so that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to do this backside, then we're hitting the grill. All right, so once again, I'm just stoking my charcoal, getting it heated up where it's really good and hot. We'll do these 3 at a time. last one. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna let these chill. I'm gonna remove them from this and we're gonna let them hang out for roughly 10 minutes. And I'm gonna cut into these and cut them into slices. And from there, we're gonna plate it. I'm gonna give it a taste test. I'm gonna let you know what I think about this picanha. I've never had it. It feels really tender. And it also appears to be wall-to-wall pink all the way out to the end, as you can see. All right, so here's the finished product. I've got a perfect medium rare, just what I was wanting. I'm gonna try to eat this before the flies do. Let's take a taste of this picanha. Oh man, that's really good. My first experience with picanha, that is ribeye kicked up a few notches. That's got some awesome flavor. Now let's check out a bite of this Farofa. Farofa, well that's something totally different. It's got a really good flavor. I don't know about the texture so much. It tastes, not taste, but it feels in your mouth about the way it looks, which is a little on the dry side. I mean, it's completely saturated with the butter, bacon grease, and the renderings from this steak. It's got an awesome flavor. I'm just not sure about that texture, you know, for my likings. But as far as flavors, it pairs well with the meat. There ain't no doubt about that. Would I do it again? Maybe. We'll see. If I did it wrong, someone let me know that really knows how to make this Farofa. Like I said, I researched it. I followed the directions to the best of my ability. But as far as the picanha goes, that was a win-win. Hope you go over there to Matador Prime Steak and check out some of this picanha. Absolutely fantastic. Be sure to look in the description box. Go check out Jason at Red's Barbecue and Pizzeria. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, smoke your ribs.